Welcome back, Spencer. Thank you for being our closer.
Woo.
Hi. Good evening. How are you? Good. Good. All right. So the topic of my talk today is why you should stop researching and start failing. So I'm going to teach you, or at least share with you, 5 very disparate topics that I tried to learn myself, and where I failed in those topics, and where I ended up succeeding in those topics as well. And what I share with you is why, at the time, the internet really, for me, was a non-existent entity, and why it's an advantage. So the first thing for me was trying to get buff. Okay, that was my first goal when I was a kid. I was a pretty skinny kid, so I started reading Men's Health. What you're going to look at when you see Men's Health is there's a lot of repetition. So if you want to dress for more sex, this is probably a good thing to read. But what I discovered is Men's Health gives you a lot of very, very conflicting information. So I looked at a classic. I looked at Arnold Schwarzenegger. And this is, no joke guys, this is this thick. And it's really, really good. It's timeless. And it's something I highly recommend, because what Arnold tells us is it's all about function. It's all about strength. It's all about flexibility. So after a while, you start to work out and you start to get pretty buff, right? That was back in the day. I'm certainly not that big anymore, but I followed what Arnold had told me in his book. He said, look, all of these things that you read that are maybe things that might be a fad or something that you feel like is a trend, just revert to what I had done. And so this is my band at Summerfest in the last slide. This one is our band in a much less glamorous fashion. So we are guys, we're in a gymnasium. And going on around us is a charity walk. Like, who does a charity walk inside, first of all? But that was a really humbling experience to have a crowd actually walking around you. And so after we failed there pretty badly, I started reading this book. And this book is called The Real Deal. And what it was all about is, how do you actually get a record deal for your band? How do you break down the business of bands? How does this actually make sense? What I discovered from this book from Ms. Schwartz is that it's not about talent. It's about going out and making yourself available. So this is us on stage in Lafayette, Indiana. You can see right in the middle where it says the V and the I and the word pavilion. We actually had to put together 2 photos because it was such an expansive crowd. So it was this kind of stage. It was actually about 5 feet high, and it was larger than what you see right now. There are about 1,700 people there. So that was a realization that I had, is that I had to follow what this book had told me. So we did the workout stuff. I did the band stuff. Then my third aspiration after that was to do a real estate business. And so this is a glorious house that I bought in 2003. And you guys have probably seen no down payment programs, right? We can go in with no cash and buy stuff. So this is 2003. I bought this thing, and that didn't work out very well. I had that property for 12 years, and I lost $10,000. So don't ever do that. But I looked at this book, and this book was written decades ago, and this guy is so good because it's about that boring buy and hold style of real estate. So not what you see on HGTV. And eventually, after learning from this, and after doing 14 years and about 2 weeks of investing in real estate, I got to buy this thing. This is an 18-unit apartment building. And I didn't lose $10,000 on this. And this allowed me to actually leave my corporate job after learning from this book what was really true. Not chase the hype, not chase the fads. After the real estate business, I decided to get into IT. So this is post Y2K. So you guys remember Y2K at all? Okay, so for all of us in that business in that time, we were really worried that we had these pagers on. All the computers were going to go down at midnight, and nothing happened. So the IT business that I had founded originally was all on this break-fix technology, meaning you have to go in and be a firefighter. But then I bought this course, and it's called the Computer Consulting Toolkit. I bought it in 2002 by a guy named Joshua Feinberg. And in this course, he talked about, look, don't become a firefighter, become somebody who you become a business partner with those with whom you're working. And they rely on you to do better and better. So eventually, after learning from the business standpoint that people paid eventually for recurring revenue, so all of us in SaaS, we get that, right? All of us in software as a service, we get that people pay for recurring revenue. So I sold that business for more than $1, but it was a good thing to sell. It was a good thing to build and eventually get out. It was a good learning experience for me. So after that, I went into financial services. And so this is a really glamorous job for a big Fortune 100 company. They give you a company car and an iPass. That's me modeling it. And all I did was drive to Chicago through sheer naivete and hope that if I showed up in people's offices, they would take my meetings with me. And that's what I did. I was just naive. I just showed up and I said, how do you do this? But then I looked at this book. And I go, well, this is a guy named Todd Thompson who showcased exactly what he did as the former job that I used to have. So he said, this is exactly what I did step by step. So follow what I propose to you and do what I say, and you'll be much more successful. And all the stuff that he said actually works, you guys. And what I learned from that book is it's really about activity. It's about showing up continuously. There's an old adage in sales that the things that you do so well you stop doing. Well, I ignored that. And I was just too dumb to stop doing the things that I got bored with. So you get to go to national sales conferences and hold up an oversized check in front of your peers, and you feel good about that. So guys, what I learned from these 5 very disparate things that I developed over time was that because I didn't have the internet, I didn't have a great deal of research that I could do. I just did it. And I was too dumb to think that I couldn't achieve those things. So for all of us right now, we have all of this information, and analysis paralysis is not a new idea for any of us. And Lee Iacocca has told us from Chrysler, the chairman of Chrysler, that indecision has cost us more than bad decisions in this country. So what I propose to you is find somebody, like this old woman in a sombrero, who's achieved the things that you want, and ask her, why did you do the things that you want to achieve yourself? And find out why she did those and how she felt as a result. Because as you go through this process of running a startup, doing anything new, you're gonna run into impediments. And what this woman tells you is if it's impactful, you will continue to do that. So look to one resource. Find one resource out there and make that your truth. Don't look to the internet to either prove or disprove what you believe to be true. Just do it, because you perhaps may actually take all of the stuff that you learned in your life and create a book as well, from which other people can learn. Thank you.
Woo!